We're back live with the ESR, Puckett and Revan in the studio. Revan, you're talking about the strengths of Envy. Now let's discuss their weaknesses. First, we got to take a look at their group. Here's who they will be facing off against in the X Games group play. Of course, Optic Gaming coming in with the number 3 seed right behind them. Who are the other teams they'll be playing potentially?
Well, they could also match up against FaZe Red as well as Curse Orange. Now, assuming that they make it out of their group, then they can match up with any of the one teams from Group A. You know, Evil Geniuses, Optic Nation, Team Caliber, or even Strictly Business.
Once again, that would be a nice rematch for them. Envy probably feeling comfortable heading into that, but a lot of eyes are going to be on the Envy Curse Orange matchup, which Envy is favored to win in round 1. Round 2, that would set up a Optic Gaming Envy or FaZe Red Envy matchup. And if you're either Optic Gaming or FaZe Red, what are some of the weaknesses of Envy you're looking to exploit?
You know, really their blitz scheme. I feel like with the addition to Parasite, they kind of have some kind of conflicting ideas on how to play blitz. You know, you saw it when Parasite was on Optic Gaming for the 2 or 3 days he was on that roster. They are constantly discussing the proper way to play blitz. And even in some of the Envy scrims, you know, especially when Parasite first joined the team, they still had some conflicts. You know, do you play blitz this way? Do you like to fill in the gaps and then push the lanes, or do you like to play, you know, more of a rotation, you know, push to flank style? Parasite prefers to fill in the gaps.
Fill in the gaps is Parasite's perspective, and who does he normally argue with on the rest of the Envy lineup? Is it kind of the team versus Parasite here, or is there another person who's strongly arguing for a different play style?
You know, I don't think it is kind of like the team, but it's not like heavily in the team. You know, they don't bring it up that much. It's just something that they discuss in a calm manner. You know, they really talk it through and, you know, see the pros and cons of playing each different play style. But I feel like they're slowly kind of forcing Parasite to play more for their team, which I love to see.
Okay, well, you picked out a blitz game for us to take a look at. What are we about to watch?
Well, here they are. This is the finals of UGC Niagara. They're playing against Evil Geniuses. Now, we know that the grand finals didn't go too well for them, but let's see how they perform in this blitz game.
So I think we're going to actually jump on board here with Merc and see how Envy does it. Study's trying to lead the way here, and Study isn't able to do it, and Complexity was able to increase the lead by 3, and Nameless has one more guy in the face.
Yep, but Nameless can't stop that one there, and it seems like it's going to be another cap, perhaps? No, it was not. It seems like the Complexity player was taken out there.
And Krim all the way up. He's got 23 now, 23 and 15, 24. He's definitely going to break into that 30-point barrier at the bare minimum. We're at 3.5 to go here. Still a 3-cap lead for Complexity. Just looking across the minimap, everyone's kind of making a breakout now off spawn, except for actually moving. Members of Complexity he's going to be able to jump across it. They're going to be able to put pressure. Parasite's going to need to play some defense.
Oh my God, this is just nuts. And down he goes. Krim is just destroying everything in sight, and look at that. He's actually going to be able to score too. If you're Envy, you got to get control of White just a little bit. And just somehow you need to get in front of the base of Cole. You have 2 dead, just start flooding it.
Well, the thing is, it seems like they're very concerned about just getting those caps. That's like their chief concern here. You know, we want to say that maybe, of course, they are focusing on pushing White and getting aggressive into their spawn, but they're just getting taken out at the red side too. I mean, it doesn't matter what lane they're going. Complexity is meeting them there halfway and stopping them from making any kind of progress.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to get anything going. One of you guys kind of said this will be maybe an easier side for Envy, but it really hasn't played out like that at all. I agree with the statement, but it just hasn't gone that way. And as we are under halfway through this map, the lead is extended all the way to 4. 2 down for Envy. This is probably going to lead for a cap as we see Complexity is flooding across the mid here.
Nameless has to come up big right here. He has 2 guys in front of him, and he's going to be taken out. And just like that, Parasite, you know, the guys of Envy, with 2 minutes left, they have to come up with 4 caps. And now I know that's not a lot, sounds like crazy at all, because with 2 minutes you can easily do that. But how it's looked at this second half, they are getting slaughtered.
Yeah, that's right. And by the way, guys, just want to remind everyone that there will be a special announcement about the next UMG event after this game, so you guys are definitely going to want to stick around for that. Just a reminder for everyone, you know, at home and of course in the audience as well. But back to the action, it seems like those the 4 caps there for Envy, they're going to make it. So it's going to be 3.
There's 1. So just down 3. There's still enough time left to make some plays. 90 seconds left. There were just 3 down for Complexity. We're going to watch Merc as he moves down this right side, tries to work with his team and get some openings here to try and punch another one in. They've got to make plays, and they've got to make plays now.
Yeah, Complexity scores again, though. That's going to extend that lead to 4 one more time. Merc is going to get taken out again, and we got to go to Crim6. He's 32 and 19. I mean, my goodness, Scott.
Yeah, this is just freaking nuts, dude. I mean, Crim is not single-handed. Those are shots you get with an AR, and people are like, okay, that's a good kill. With an MTAR, stupid.
Hashtag full of call, psych!
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there, and they're probably like, oh man, these guys are cold D-Riders. It's like, no,
I mean,
they're that good?
Yeah, they're playing that strong right now. And
4 down again.
It's a pleasure to commentate when they're on fire like this, especially, I mean, Crim, honestly, over these past 2 series, has just been a freak of nature as he's 34 and 20, 2 caps, Aches here trying to work this back strip, but does get taken out.
And I actually think with that said, that's pretty much going to do it there. And that is GG.
My God.
You have 4 people down. You have someone sliding in for a goal. That is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Sweet child of Frodo.
Complexity is your UGC Niagara Elgato 20K champions. And they won 6-0 against Complexity, winning 2 best of 5s here after a very rocky start to this tournament.
I gotta say, there's just, no matter what happens with Complexity for here on out, for the rest of the duration of Call of Duty Ghosts, they can lose round 1, they can get swept 0-3, it doesn't matter. If you count them out, you are officially a fool.
All right, so as we take a look at the final scoreboard, everyone was about within 1 or 2 kills of going positive at the start of that video. At the end, only Nameless was even, the other 3 players negative. Where did Envy fall apart? What went wrong for them in that Blitz game?
It was really their slaying. I mean, if you're comparing the total kills that Envy had to the total that Complexity had, Complexity had a whole lot more, especially Crim6, who finished with something like 33 kills. Karma's up there as well with 25 kills, but this is why they picked up Parasite. They picked up Parasite to be able to match the aggression, match the slaying power of Complexity, but they weren't able to do so.
All of that game, we just saw nothing but MTARs, really, a few vectors in the mix on both sides. So it wasn't even like a strong AR player versus another strong AR player. This one was just all 4 running against each other, and it's EG, or formerly Complexity, the stronger team. Now that was an example of their weakness in Blitz, when they kind of got outslayed and overwhelmed in their base. But you have one more video for us pointing out their weaknesses. What do you have?
Yeah, this is against Strictly Business once again. This is going to be a domination game. Now, statistically speaking, in the Season 2 League so far, domination is Envy's worst game type. So this is them. They have a lead going into the second side, but they have a little trouble holding it down.
All right, here's a look. Domination against the number 8 seed at the X Games. We might see a rematch coming up this weekend.
Trying to cut off basically that line that they can get fire onto B and try to prevent them from capping it. They've got to be close here. They are able to get B, so that is exactly what you wanted if you're SB at the start of this. They have control of C and B. They're going to now, you can see, push forward, try to put a little pressure on A, maybe get the neutralization, and together they're able to take him out. Stain actually gets a 2-piece, but is taken out.
Okay, so you see Envy, they're getting that dreaded backstrip spawn. Actually, they're going to spawn at their own tank, which is something you don't see often because there's a player from Strictly Business pushed up a little bit too far on that strip side, but Spacely's just being in motel. If he would have been able to go on a spree right there, get some kills, it would have been huge. But you see Methods right there to pick up the slack.
Well, I love this. It's basically kind of 3 players of SB playing back a little bit across the mid, and then you have one that's been kind of up in their grill there at A, and it's made it really, really hard for Envy to get anything done, anything going outside of their base.
Yeah, and you see Envy, they're able to get some players down, but there's no action near the B flag. I mean,
nope.
You really see nobody from Envy going near that. They're going to need somebody that's really going to, when they...
This is a big play by Parasite, though. He should be able to put pressure on their home flag, and this could show, maybe he doesn't want to.
Taking a little different route. I mean, when they dropped Ray, the one thing that everyone looked out for was, how is the OBJ stuff going to get it done, right? Right there you see a perfect example. You see 2 or 3 players go down. Nobody really goes towards the B flag. And right now, I mean, you have Study and Parasite. You're going to try and make a play on C. And it looks like Study's there all by himself right now. It's going to need
He's going to have 2. Oh, God. There's one. He pre-fires a second. Oh, that would have been so sick. He did do a good job of pre-firing that, but he was so weak. I think it took 1 bullet from the member of SB to take him out. But just taking a look at it, SB still has this 2-cap control. The lead has extended to 16. And, well, there you go. They've actually taken the lead now. They're up 2, even with the first half start by Envy.
Right, so Envy needs to be decisive, right? You have 2 players, looks like they're going towards Broken. You have a player at their own tank and a player sitting at their own flag. You're way too spread out. Those players over at Broken Wall were taken out by Methods and Spacely. You know, now you just have 2 players sitting at your base giving you no map control, and it looks like they should spawn right on their flag again.
Yeah, they all are popping right now, trying to get some movement across map here, but there's just nothing they can do. Now, Spacely's actually going to be behind them. He could even go neutral A right now if he wants to. There's like kind of an overextension here to the top right to try and get on C. So they have one guy that may be able to, no, he's going to do nothing at C. Well, they're actually going to be spawning, who is it? Is Study was taken out right away, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that was actually a huge play from Spacely to neutral the home flag, and now Envy's going to need to take some time to take this back. And it looks like John is going to be able to get up into a power position and try and fight these guys at blue dump, but 2 players go down for Strictly Business, and Envy needs to take advantage of this, Maven.
God, there's only 80 seconds left in the score now. God, they're almost up, what is it, 22, 32, no, sorry, 32, it's 33 now. Yeah, you know, my math, I'll get there eventually, just give me some time. As they've got a big lead. I don't see how the members of Envy are going to come back in this. They've got to get 2-cap control as soon as possible, and just by looking at it right now, SB still has control of B, still has control of C, and Envy just can't get anything going this half.
You know, at Envy, they had a few great opportunities to be able to hop on B, and you saw that, you know, the players are too spread out. You know, one player was in their base, maybe he thought, you know, there was a player still in their motel, not too sure. And then you saw players just in the middle of the map, just not really doing anything. You know that the players are on spawn. You're not taking B. You're just kind of sitting there. You're not really doing anything for your team.
John there with a nice 2-piece, gets everything cleared off of B. And I mean, this is all she wrote. They absolutely smashed Envy on the second side of this domination. And like I said, SB continues to look so strong. But looks like we're going to be having a Game 5
Game 5.
Yep.
Everybody loves it. We have seen a ton of Game 5s this weekend.
We've seen a ton. And like, I don't even know what to expect because, yes, it's an S&D. Yes, SB has kind of looked like the better team in the series. I mean, they even went up 4-0 in that first S&D, but then we saw the 6 straight out of the boys in blue, and I think they've been one of the best S&D teams recently. So
oh yeah, Envy's been a great S&D team. I mean, that was, I mean, granted, I mean, obviously, Steve win.
They almost put up 100, man.
Yeah, but to win in that kind of fashion for Strictly Business, you know, with the younger players, Spacely able to play really well, if they should be able to keep that confidence going into that, despite
domination. Not so good for Envy there. Where do you think they went wrong, and what are kind of the holes that they need to fix going into X Games this weekend if they want to take down Evil Geniuses, the reigning champions?
Well, I think Mr. X put it perfectly. You know, they were very far spread out along the map. You know, they didn't really have an opportunity to work the flags as a team, but also where I saw them falter a bit is they weren't able to deal with the aggression from Strictly Business. At one point in the game, they were forcing Envy to spawn way back dirt, which, you know, is a terrible place to spawn. Tough to rotate back to, you know, defend your A flag, but of course, if you try to oversend through strip, you got to deal with a whole bunch of power positions. So Strictly Business just put Envy with a rough spot, and it was tough for Envy to deal with it.
And now looking at their group, you have Optic Gaming, you have FaZe Red, and you have Curse Orange. Can any of those teams put on the aggression like we just saw from Strictly Business?
I think FaZe Red and Optic Gaming both are able to do that, but I do feel like Envy, they're going to be able to win their first match against Curse Orange. I would love to see Envy match up with Optic. That's always been a pretty big rivalry between both those teams. Plus, you have Merc. He was released from that Optic Gaming team. You have Parasite. He had a short stint with Optic Gaming. So you have, you know, some more rivalry within the individual players.
All right, so that was a short look at some of their weaknesses. Overall, to wrap this up, where do you rank Envy on a grade scale, A through F? How strong is this current lineup?
I'll give them an A-.
A-?
Yeah, I think they match up very well with every single team out there aside from Evil Geniuses. It seems that every time they match up with EG, it's just, it doesn't look pretty. You know, in that grand finals, it was a 6-0 sweep for Evil Geniuses. So hopefully they do some studying on their gameplay, figure out the best way to adapt to their play style, and come into X Games with a nice mindset and a lot of strategies to work with.
Guys, we're headed to a quick commercial break. When we return, I have the Envy Top 5, as well as we have 2 other things to talk about today. Of course, we have the MLG COD League, lots of results from Friday and Saturday, as well as our 2K series. We'll tell you who walked away with the big money from this weekend's online tournament.